And we're live! Woohoo!
Hello, Chris, Tim, and Tim.
Nice to meet you guys. Was that Jim with some weird top hat and sunglasses on your intro video?
Yes.
No. Because for criminal prosecution reasons, it wasn't Jim. No.
Yeah, fair.
I just realized that Jim and Tim were the last clip of our intro. I was laughing at that as well. So
that's my social media mad scientist hat, Chris.
Okay. One day I can aspire to have a hat like that. One day I can get that hat.
This is the trouble with having other live stream producers on. Everybody just feels they can talk. It's like, I need like the kind of like electric shock. They need electric shock button so that like if guests get unruly, I can just press down here and then it'll be like.
I would not live through a show. I wouldn't live through a single one of your shows. I'm sorry.
So, as I think I asked the first question last week, I'll let Christelle ask the first question because I don't know a dreadful amount about Amazon live streaming. So, Christelle might as well start by asking the first question because it's like, probably ask the same question I would.
Possibly. Well, okay. So we have Chris and Jim on today talking to us about Amazon Live. And they both produce Amazon Live shows. They do a show together. I want to hear more. Because I'm very interested in it. Tim and I often bring on people who can tell us more that we can learn from. And we know our guests are interested in too. So how did you guys get started, first of all, on Amazon Live?
So actually, and I think Tim knows, Ross Brand had posted something in the Streamyard community about like, hey, Amazon started this influencer program. If you want to check it out, I created a YouTube video. So I literally went and watched Ross's YouTube video. I was already an Amazon associate, which is another name for their affiliate program. And that's where, you can take a link, like Tim's books and share it. And if people buy it, you get, I think on books it's 2%. So it's not a lot of money on a book, but people get this quote unquote cookie. Well, at the time, the influencer program, you could apply based on your social platforms and you pick one of four: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or YouTube. Now, in the last couple of months, they've eliminated Twitter as an option. Not sure why, but I applied with my Twitter account and I got like instant notification that I'd been approved. And then unbeknownst to me, it then all of a sudden is like, hey, you can now go live on Amazon. I was like, what? So one, we got a storefront on Amazon where we're able to upload like product review videos. It shows all our past live streams that we've done on Amazon. And we can also do what's called shoppable photos. So you can drive people to that. But then you could go live. And so we started at the end of July of last year. And we've now done over 70 shows, and it's just been a lot of fun. So, we really didn't know what we were getting ourselves into. Chris and I have been working together before for a few months on some other projects, but had never had a chance to work together. So, when I got approved, I said, hey, Chris, you want to do a show on Amazon? And he's like, yeah, sure. Why not? Let's see what happens. And, I think we joke, I think literally like within a couple of hours, we had come up with the name. And we just started, and we've been doing it ever since.
Yeah, Jim and I knew that we wanted to do a show together. We were, remote producing events, and we were putting together podcasts, and we were doing stuff for other people, but wanted to find a way to work together. And this was the thing. And yeah, like Jim said, in 2 hours we came up with a name, and we didn't want to, like, the platform is basically you go live in the biggest, one of the biggest malls in the world, and so people have come there to buy products, and Jim and I are not home shopping network QVC, type people. And so, but we do love helping people. And we do love helping people get past that fear of tech and that fear of gear and that stuff that gets them stuck on starting their show and just hitting the button and starting ugly. So that's what we did with our show is we were like, we're going to create a show like this and we're going to like throw it together. We're going to come up with a name. We're going to come up with a logo and we're going to just start this thing. And he and I went live and our first actual guest was Jennifer Watson from Agora Pulse at the time and the Weather Channel. And, you know, so that's really starting ugly because she waited around for 45 minutes until we got our act together to actually go live, because we didn't know that you couldn't go live at 1080p. We had to lower our resolution to 720 on Amazon. That was not in the FAQ, Amazon. So we just sort of figured it out. She was, you know, God bless her, she was very patient. And we had our first show. And it's just been really fun because we don't treat it like the Home Shopping Network, even though a lot of people do, and that's cool. But we just get to do a show that we would normally do anyway, and we get paid some money for it.
I thought you were paid in guitars. Looking at your back wall there, it's sort of like showing your filthy luster thing from Amazon.
Yeah, I looked, and none of these are sold on Amazon actually. Yeah. So it's really just bad marketing on my part. So yeah.
I've got a screenshot of your store here. So, I mean, this is. I mean, I think I've set one of these up myself as like an Amazon affiliate. So that's the store side, and this is what a show looks like. So I think, like, correct me if I'm wrong here, but the major difference is that while the show's going on, you've got all these links to particular Amazon products at the bottom.
Correct. That is absolutely correct. Yeah.
Okay. So now, do you sell your own products at the bottom? These are actually your own products that you're selling at the bottom.
We now have swag. We have some sweatshirts and some T-shirts that we actually do through the Merch by Amazon program, which allows you to design your own. You know, they've got a few things you can add. I mean, unfortunately, you can't do like cool coffee cups like you have, Christelle, but yeah, we sell them. And what's really cool about the Merch by Amazon, and when Chris and I have done some talks, he brings it up. I think, Chris, can you correct me if I'm wrong? Mm-hmm. It's like the commission on the shirts is anywhere from 15 to 30%. Mm-hmm. And because it's print on demand, you don't have any inventory.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's really, like, wow, why not? And we have, some of our fellow creators or people that have maybe checked out the show will buy the shirts. It's like, wow, people are actually buying the shirt. They it's almost like its own little I don't know, what's the term, Chris? Like it's not a cult, but it's like
I prefer a cult, actually. It's a much more abrasive term. But yeah, I mean, for years I was in bands, and we had T-shirts, and we would make our own in cases, or we would order them or whatever, and then you would have this storage unit full of medium-sized T-shirts that nobody bought, right? And so when print on demand hit, for the clients that I work with and others, and this is print on demand, like, I was all over it. And it didn't matter if I made $1 or $2 or $3 or whatever. It's nothing on me. I just uploaded a logo and somebody else is printing it and shipping it. I'm fine with that. And so, but those like Printful and Vistaprint and TeePublic and, there's a bunch of print on demand services. Like, the amount of money you make on those is like single digits, like really, really low percentage. But Amazon, 15 to 30% to be approved for Amazon merch. And you could put up to 200 different pieces of merch. You can only launch like one a day, but yeah, you put those in the carousel, in your product carousel, Christelle, and we'll talk about products. We'll sometimes demonstrate products, talk about stuff that we have. And I think one of the misconceptions that people have about being an Amazon Live influencer is, do I need to own everything that you're talking about? And you don't necessarily need to do that. And that's one of the reasons why we have guests on the show. Jim and I do different types of shows. We want to go live at least 3 times a week. And we'll do interview shows, much like the one you see here, and where we're talking to people. And if, I see the mic that you're speaking into, Tim, like we would talk, we might talk about that. And you might talk about what you like about it. We had Jeff C on the show, and he went through a demo of this feed loop editing thing that he uses for video, and we put that in the carousel. And so, when you have guests on, you don't need to own anything. It's you're bringing content into your program, plus you get that great content that they're talking about. So we can talk, to entrepreneurs and sort of continue to feed, the car buying public the information about how they can get past all of that stuff and move on with their shows.
Yeah,
Now-
well, certainly for authors, you get like 3%, I think, affiliate thing for authors. But if you're selling your own book anyway, then you're getting 70% royalty from the ebook, and it could actually be really quite a good way. Are there many authors or people with their own products doing this sort of Amazon Live stuff, or is it mainly people like you who are doing the kind of demonstration or interviewing people?
I would say it's definitely, there's not a lot of authors doing it yet. Now we think, we don't know, right? This isn't something a number Amazon has published. Like we joke that there might be 1,000 creators that are actually on the platform. I mean, there may be more than that, but they're not doing anything with it. Like Madeline Scalar, I was on Twitter Smarter a few weeks ago talking about this, and she's like, "Oh, I should get into that." And then she's like, "Oh, I've had an account. I didn't even know." So what I'm
in that position as well.
So what we've done is we're bringing authors on when they release a book on Amazon. Like our last episode was with Ron Carr and his book Velocity Mindset. So you think about it, if you're publishing a book that's sold on Amazon and you're releasing it, so not only are you getting to talk about your product on Amazon Live, but while the interview is going on, that video is playing on the book page. And since it's playing on other product pages, you may get somebody to click on it, because what it'll say is like, video, live stream related to this product. So even if it was like your microphone, well, they're going to come over, maybe listen in, and it's like, oh, I'm now interested in this book. So, it's a great way to promote sale of, new book or even existing books. And so I think that in and of itself, makes a great, it's a great venue. And the influencer program is available in Britain. They just don't have the Amazon Live piece yet. But that's why, like I was telling you, Tim, there's some folks like you, I think, Marco Novo, he's in Portugal, but yet he's on Amazon Live in the US, and he's doing a ton of shows as well. So it definitely is a great way to help authors promote themselves. So we've had several authors on, and I think they've been really good shows as well. Good content.
Yeah, I think I might be on the UK Amazon influencer thing, which is probably why I haven't got it yet. I'll let Christelle ask the next question. She's going to ask exactly the same question.
I keep trying to interrupt you, Tim.
Okay. Yeah.
So you can. It is possible for our British friends, because we have British viewers who have merchandise. Chioma just popped on and said hi, and I know she's from the UK. She's printing merch now. So it is possible for British affiliates to go on to the US and register that way and do a show that way.
It is, and there's 4 different territories. Obviously, U.S., it's U.K., it's India, and it's Canada. But for India, you need to have a bank address that is in India. So it's not like we could go live and because obviously we don't have a bank there. But even if you don't have Amazon Live access, but you are an approved Amazon influencer, you do have a shop page. And Jim and I have found that a shop page is a great way to create some incremental revenue and continue to brand what we're doing. And so even though, the shop page, if you were to scroll all the way down, you go to dealcasters.shop, that's where our shop page is. If you were to scroll all the way down, that's where our previous live streams are, and it kind of, spills out sort of like a carousel. When you click on view past all live streams, that's what we use for our redirect called dealcasters.live. It's more like our YouTube channel. It's got our most current stream and then all of our 69 previous streams on that one page. But the shop page, Tim and Christelle, is you put shoppable photos on there. So the photos that were up there, if you click on, you can click on the items in that photo, and it takes you right to a spot where you can purchase any particular item. And then you also create videos. And when you create 10 videos, they start putting those videos onto the product pages. And so you've seen on Amazon, you just kind of scroll down and you see these videos that are along the bottom. There are some customer videos or whatever that are kind of buried. But if you're an Amazon influencer and you create something with a really impactful thumbnail that's a demonstration, or maybe a clip from your live show where you don't show anything like a price or a screenshot, but you're actually doing a demo or something, you put that, you do that, and those product videos have actually created some nice incremental revenue for us. And I know, like, sometimes the secret to being a kind of an entrepreneur is to make some money while you sleep. And Jim and I joke about that we wake up in the morning and for doing nothing, we can see a little cheddar in the account.
So, I'm not going to ask you the question that I was going to ask you, but I'm going to ask you a much more basic, banal question. So you're making money out of this show. The Dealcasters makes you money. I mean, obviously you bought all your guitars with it. And Jim is working his way to freedom out of the prison that he's in. So maybe he'll get a pot of paint to be able to paint the background. But you're making reasonable. I mean, that is different in a way to any other live stream platform, apart from possibly Twitch. You are actually making money out of Amazon Live.
Yeah, I mean, we're not stacking, Benjamins behind the Jim Fuhs brick wall, but we are. So many people are focused on YouTube, and I'm not against YouTube, and everyone's focused on monetizing for YouTube. And in order to do that, the requirements are a massive amount of not only just subscribers, but hours, view hours, and you have to make multiple. I mean, it takes a lot and a long time to get monetized, and then when you do get monetized, it's not very much. And Jim and I were monetized after streaming for 90 minutes. We went live for a total of 90 minutes, and once that was over, we got to a status called Insider. And so that's how easy it is to get from the first level to the second level. Getting to the third level is way more difficult. But the second level Insider is when your videos start populating, like Jim said, onto those product pages, and that's what drives the traffic. So you'll get thousands, sometimes tens of thousands of viewers at any one time for your live stream. And then at the end, you already know you've made money. And so that's the crazy part is like, we're not, I mean, we have a YouTube channel, but it's really just sort of, it's secondary, maybe even less to what we're doing on Amazon, because that's just such a long game that, that we just decided from a revenue perspective and from, what we're going to focus on, it needs to be this.
Because of what Amazon is and who Amazon is, do you naturally acquire viewers? Or is it something yes. Okay. So it's not something you have to work on. I mean, they naturally come to you because it's already, like you said, the biggest mall in the world.
Yeah. We've attempted it. I mean, like Chris says, with our redirect of Dealcasters.live, we'll put that on our socials, but people still don't understand that they have to hit the follow button. So if somebody pops into our show, and of course, what's funny about Amazon is it's like people are muted automatically, like the audio is not on. So we'll do an overlay that'll say like unmute. And so it's like sometimes if people listen to what we're saying, then they'll go ahead and follow us. And you'll see instantly, like in the chat on Amazon, that somebody has followed you. And so that's been, that's kind of how we've been growing it. We're not interested in like trying to buy followers or anything else, because that's really the hurdle for us. That's keeping us from the next level is you have to have 2,000 followers on Amazon, because we're hitting all their other metrics. But it's funny in a way, because you got approved for Amazon because you had a social following. But, we have people we know that are creators that have, in some cases, thousands and thousands of Instagram or YouTube, subscribers / followers, and they can't even get 2,000 of them to come over and follow them on Amazon, because people are like, well, what's that? So it is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Well, the next question I was going to ask, which we do need to ask, is how on earth does somebody go live on Amazon, especially in this kind of show, like a desktop one? So, I mean, the software, not meaning to show how the sausage is made, so to speak, but this show uses Streamyard, which I think is similar. I don't know if you use that or you can, but you do a desktop show. But when I went to the Amazon Live site, it was all about this app. So how does that process? Does somebody go live, assuming they're approved on Amazon?
That's a great question, and a lot of people get this confused, and they think that they have to go live from their iPad or their iPhone, and that's not the case. Everything is launched on Amazon from this Creator app, which is iOS only. So if you have an iPad or an iPhone, you have to have that app in order to go live. However, if like for in the case of us and in the case for you guys for StreamYard, you can set up a custom RTMP. Yeah. And so we just set up a RTMP as a destination in StreamYard, and within the app, you go to a little spot where they give you your URL stream key, and you input those two into your custom URL, and it's one and done. You set it as a destination. You don't have to do it every time, because I know RTMP can be weird. And so every time that Dealcasters.live, when we go live, Jim and I, we're in StreamYard, we could see each other backstage. And so Jim will cue the show from his iOS device, and I will see him, and I'm the one that triggers the show live on the other side when that's why you don't see a delay at the beginning of our show. It goes right in, because I wait for Jim to point at me so he knows that we're live in the Amazon app, and that's when I start the show. Because there's like a 5-second or more delay if you were to just maybe watch it on the web or just watch it within StreamYard. So we've timed that from a run of show perspective, so it goes right into our show intro, and then we go live and get right into it.
But I mean, if somebody was somebody, that's one of my great quotes. I should come back in the clip. If somebody was somebody who just wanted to use the app and use it to go live on the phone, they can do that, can't they? They don't have to use StreamYard.
Correct. Absolutely, and it's I would recommend using a streaming app. I mean, I don't know about you, but I just couldn't do it, especially the show that Jim and I do. In bringing on guests and trying to brand and trying to do the best, I think, and there's free options. You can still do that and just have a good show, whether it's StreamYard or some of these other services, and be able to do that. But yeah, you're right. I mean, you could do it from an iPad or an iOS device, and I know there's a lot of people that have actually done shows. Like one guy, Phil Hill, who's a home security expert, did it live from his Harley. People have gone live from car shows. So the Amazon influencer community is kind of fun to be a part of too. And so there's a Facebook group that we're a part of, and everyone, Jim mentioned it earlier. We think there's only like maybe 1,000, but it's growing. Yeah. Imagine the early days of YouTube, right? We wished that we were a part of that, right? So that we could now have the success that some of these early adopters had on YouTube. But early days of YouTube, I mean, it was pretty much hot garbage when you went there. You're like, what is happening here? This is like awful. And now, that's where everybody's going to learn how to do everything. And so we're leaning in. We're going all in on this, and we feel like it's early days of something really big.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so who have been some of your most fun guests?
Wow. Jennifer Watson, for sure. In fact, at the end of our intro video, she like gives us this great compliment. It always brings a smile to our face right before we start the show. I mean, we just had Mike Alton on. He was a great guest. We had a fellow creator, Christina Nietzsche. She does some fitness stuff. We had her on Dealcasters After Dark. That was a lot of fun. I mean, I think they've all been great guests. I can't say that we've had a bad guest.
Christelle, I mean, you've had this show for a while, and you guys probably have had podcasts, all right? And your viewers, they may have podcasts, and everyone's asking you to be on their podcast. And, the phrase is, everyone's got a podcast, right? But not everyone has an Amazon Live show. And so we just decided that we were going to go big and ask for people that we thought were prominent because we thought this was a differentiator, and we were right. So Jennifer Watson, first guest, Chris Kermitzos, who's the starter of Podfest Multimedia. He was the next guest, and we had Dave Jackson, who's a Hall of Fame podcaster, School of Podcasting, and there's a lot of great guests that we've had, and I think a lot of it has not just because Jim Fuhs is so good looking, but I think people think, all right, it's Amazon, I'm going to go live on Amazon, and especially Tim, to your point, authors are like, my book's out this week, I'm going live on Amazon. It's like a book release event for them, really.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea. That is a good idea for up and coming authors or authors who are releasing books on Amazon, and something I wouldn't have thought of. Tim, is this something you would do for your books?
I'm very interested. I might actually experiment with this. In as much as I've still got my Begin Self-Publishing brand, and I've actually got the selfpublishing.live domain, which I've never done anything with. So, I'm very interested in it indeed. So I might well experiment with it because I like the idea of actually making money from a live stream.
Yeah, not a bad idea.
In terms of, I'm going to ask a very technical question here, but in terms of the products that you display, are they fixed for the whole broadcast, or could you say do a show where you had 5 minutes of Christelle talking about this lawnmower that she's just made that happens to be $2,000, and if anybody bought it, you get $200, and then another 5 minutes about another product? Or is it kind of fixed at the beginning, but you can move it around? How does that product recommendation stuff work?
You can definitely make changes on the fly. That's one of the things we like about the flexibility. Yeah. I mean, you are limited to 40 total. So maybe you put like 30 products out there, and we've had that happen before. And next week's going to be crazy because, Monday and Tuesday are Prime days. So Chris and I will be on Amazon quite a bit. We've learned that when we did it last year, we should have been on there longer. It's like, why did we only go 3 hours? We could have gone 12, 15 hours. And but if somebody said, hey, I'm looking for a monitor, like we'll do, like one of us will go look for the monitor, we'll add it to the carousel, and now the monitor's in the show, and the people can go buy it. So it's not like we have to say, oh, well, so we'll actually find stuff for people. And if we all of a sudden found out that a product isn't available, and that'll be that all of a sudden the price doesn't show up, we can remove it and put something in its place. So the app makes it really easy to do that in that regard. So that is one of the benefits of the way you can like make those changes on the fly if you need to for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you were to walk into a store and you needed something for your son who is a gamer, and you need a headphone and they need a seat. And so what do? You walk up to someone in the store who works there, and you say, because they're the quote unquote expert, right? They were hired by this store to do that. But the difference for this is not only is it Amazon, which is absolutely massive, but your live stream is showing up on that page, and you're the expert. Like you're the one. You're one of 1,000 people who are talking about this microphone. And they're like, well, I need a microphone, and they're clicking into your show. And one thing we didn't mention, Christelle and Tim, is like the other part that people don't realize is we don't just make money on someone clicking and purchasing something that we're talking about. We make money for 24 hours on that person once they click on us. It's a cookie. So
okay, so it's like a normal Amazon thing. So
absolutely. So Tim, if you were on your show and you were talking about your book, but you also had your microphone in the carousel, you also had your Instant Pot that you made your lunch with, and you also had your hair dryer to get your hair the way you wanted it to be, and all of those things. Maybe you're talking about those, maybe you're not. Someone clicks on your hair dryer and they go and they're like, well, I don't like that hair dryer, but I see another hair dryer. Oh, and I need to pick up some diapers and a tire and some toothpaste. You're making money on all of that. You get a percentage of everything.
Then they buy this massive television for like $700. I mean, that's
actually that's a low percentage. We don't put televisions in computers.
But what's interesting, we as an example, one of our top selling devices between last year and this year is the Roku stick. We have never talked about the Roku stick. We've talked about the Fire Stick from Amazon. But what happens is when our video is playing, it'll be like related items. And so these people might be like, see this video like, oh, well, I'm gonna check out the Roku stick instead. And they buy it. We've sold tires, we've sold cereal, some other strange items that we've never talked about. So it definitely we see that happen.
Wow. Okay. Your best advice for people just getting started. For example, me and Tim.
I would say my advice, because this was asked the other day in the Facebook group, go live for 90 minutes on that first show, get approved for Insider as quickly as possible. And then the other piece would be definitely do the product videos. I think now that we look back, we should have done it a much sooner than we did, because that's making a major difference in what we're seeing out of Amazon. Like Chris said, we're making money, not like you said, not like we can, retire and go off to the, Cayman Islands or anything, but we're making money every day. We literally are making money every day, whether we go live or not, because of those videos.
Yeah, I equate it to like, I've used this analogy, sort of 100 different times. I try to change it up every time, but I'm just going to go for it. But the difference of like, everyone has like affiliate links, right? So you guys probably both are approved, which is step one, by the way. So anybody watching, listening, the first thing you got to do is you have to have an Amazon Associates account, which is free. You just got to get approved, give them, where you want them to send your money. And so that way you're set up to receive commission for links, right? And so if, Tim, if that blow dryer is just rocking and you want to like put it in your show notes, right? You create an affiliate link and say, here's the blow dryer I use every time before I go live. And you put that link and you bury it in the show notes of your podcast, your YouTube, your live streams, whatever. You hope and pray someone is going to scroll all the way down after you've gone through all of the keywords and everything to get people to watch it and click on that hairdryer link so that they go and they buy it and you get $1.32 or whatever it is, right? Yeah. So that's the equivalent of like someone driving down the road and they look and they see a billboard with a submarine sandwich on it and they're not hungry. Like they could be listening, watching, doing something else completely, and it's buried. Like they're not going to pull over if they're not hungry. When you're on Amazon Live, they've come to buy whatever you're talking about. They're like, you're right in the mall and you're talking about something that they want to buy. It's a completely different thing. And so we don't treat it like we're in the mall. We know we are. We're doing our show and demonstrating it and helping people as they come up to us, and then having guests on and treating it like a podcast.
Yeah.
So I think we've kind of run out of time now, though I suspect Christelle looks like she's just going to give up her job and become full-time Amazon live stream.
What about the llama farm, Christelle?
Are you ready for that? Were you waiting for the question?
Well, listen, you guys, I watched the show. I know. I want to know, like, can you like go live on Amazon on a llama farm? That would be like.
That would be pretty unique, wouldn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
Chris,
and you could give products to the llamas, and then they could like assess which one was the best mic or whatever.
Put some headphones on the llamas and see how well they do.
Totally.
So you're saying we can go live from the llama farm?
100%.
As long as you got internet access, why not?
Yeah.
There we go.
I would watch it. I would watch it, and I would tell all my friends. How's that?
It's like goat yoga, right? People would be intrigued.
That's amazing. Where can we find you? Yeah. Where's your show? Tim, I'm cutting you off. Sorry.
Easiest way is you just go to dealcasters.live. That was one of the things we learned. Using a .live makes it really easy, right? Even .live makes things exciting, and so we redirect it because otherwise the Amazon link is really ugly and long, and so we just say just go to dealcasters.live, or if you want to check out our shop, you go to dealcasters.shop.
Yeah, we use the redirects, and you guys will find this out, when, not if, but when you become Amazon influencers on the llama farm with the blow dryers, they will give you why do I keep talking about the blow dryers? Anyway,
I don't know, yeah.
They give you this URL. It's like hieroglyphics, and so we highly recommend getting a redirect, and it's super cheap and easy.
Yeah.
We just use name.com/live, and it's $1.99. And so you could get, search for your own, Christelle.live or llamafarm.live. Oh my God, llamafarm.live.
It's all making sense now, isn't it?
That's so good. Chris and Jim, thank you so much for being here. We learned a lot. This has been fun. Great meeting you. We are going to sign off, and thank you, Chioma, for popping in. I hope you learned a little bit, and thank you to all of our viewers who will stop in now and in the future. Bye for now.
Bye, everybody.
This is terrifying for me.
I've made more money in the last 3 years than I did in the previous 7.
Cliche shit,